Hey, don't we have another host?
Yeah, where's Ross?
Who?
Ross, shit. What's his name again?
Fucking Barry went back in time again. Time's changing around us.
Oh my god! I'm not black. I'm Japanese.
Hey, Hikaru. What were you saying?
Fucking Flash.
Hang on to your Speed Force, people. You just joined one messed up Super Geeks. Alright. Alright. Thanks for the music, Hikaru. Wait a minute. Something's going on here. Anthony, what's going on?
Oh, I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. How's it going, people?
He can't do a Japanese accent.
I can't do a Japanese accent.
Just so the audience
without
knows,
being considered racist.
Yeah, because we were going to do Mexican in the original script, but Anthony's got neighbors that are Mexican.
He's scared of his neighbors. He's scared of his neighbors.
Yeah, I don't want to get shanked in my sleep.
I can understand that. So how's everybody doing? We have one less host tonight, but how's everybody doing?
All right. Yesterday was Taco Tuesday, and I had tacos.
Did your neighbors serve them to you?
No.
Right.
No.
Tuesday.
I had to ask. You said,
I think you're being racist.
What did you have your Taco Tuesday?
See how racist someone can be without even trying?
I made them at home.
You made them at home.
Yeah.
So you are Mexican.
I'm Japanese.
You're a black man turning Mexican who speaks Japanese.
Doesn't take much for Japanese cuisine. All you gotta do is serve raw tuna, make some sushi.
It's more than that.
No, I know. I'm totally joking. I'm not actually racist. I just play one on TV.
All right.
I saw what you did there. I should decay after you. Okay, nothing? Okay. Fake applause? Nothing? Okay. Anyways, I'm George, and that was Pablo, or Hikaru, or Anthony, and Will. And we're one less host today because Barry erased him from the timeline, but we barely got our memory back because apparently someone fixed it. That would be Ross. He's in the middle of moving. And, hopefully...
Yeah, he's currently being chased by towhead kids and Children of the Corn.
No, he's on his way to that Kevin Costner baseball field.
Oh, the Field of Dreams, eh?
Yes, that's where he's on his way to.
That's possible. I want to make a small announcement, since Ross isn't here, and I just burped in the air, but who cares? There's a show...
I care.
Oh, you care, okay. There's a show that Ross, myself, and several people are in the middle of developing. It was my idea, so I'm going to pat myself on the nipple. It's called Witchcast. It's going to be part of Live Love Play Productions, which is what Ross and I call the production company that Super Geeks falls under. And Witchcast is going to be a show about a witch who does a podcast, but it's not like Bat Radio, where she doesn't the whole show's not her on the air. It's a drama that's about a witch who's trying to help people who are endangered by the supernatural world around them, and she decides that she's going to break that code of silence where she talks about the stuff you're not supposed to talk about, like Fight Club, and she gives advice on how to deal with the supernatural on the air on her podcast. And there are consequences to her doing this, which the government and other supernatural people who are on her side have to conflict about as they try to help her against the vampires, because she starts naming names, pointing fingers, and things like that. So it starts getting ugly in the first season, and it's an original concept. I'm excited about it. I'm in the middle of writing the first script, and we're looking at releasing it as one of the first shows for 2017. So I think it's going to be cool. So I just wanted to let everybody know about that.
I heard that Father Basil's relative is going to be on that show.
Yes. Not only will Anthony get to play Father Basil on Bat Radio, but I told him earlier today, in one of the first lines in the first episode, she tells a woman to go to Father Basil in the Catholic Church to get her squirt gun blessed by him. And Father Basil is a character Anthony plays on Bat Radio for an episode coming up, and I decided to also kind of nod to the character in this one too. So he'll be like a crazy Catholic priest that helps her out. He's like a go-to contact. Yeah, I know a guy. Go to him. He'll help you out. Bless that squirt gun. Vampires won't be able to touch you. It's not a comedy. It's actually a serious drama, but it has humor in it. So it's kind of like Buffy meets Charms meets, more serious. Supernatural. That's another example we took from. So we already cast the whole group of people that are in there, and it should be good. So anyways, I just want to announce that. And besides that, we wanted to bring up a few episodes. Now that fall season has started, this is where things get interesting, because there's going to be a weekly amount of good stuff coming out when it comes to all our favorite shows that we have to keep up with and talk about.
Let me ask, before we get into that.
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, today is Arrow's premiere.
Is it? I haven't seen it.
Yeah,
okay.
it always is on Wednesdays at 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
Or my time, 7 o'clock Central.
Okay.
Are you going to be watching Arrow this year?
I am, only because I'm curious about, and we'll get into this in a second, I'm curious about the...
Felicity.
Because they said that his world will be affected by Flashpoint for a little while. And I'm curious. I'm curious.
Okay.
And we'll get into that in about 20 seconds. Not even. So the first subject is, last night, The Flash Season 3 premiere, Flashpoint, which has been highly anticipated, came out, and I watched it earlier today. What did you guys think? We'll start with whoever wants to speak first.
I thought it was interesting. It was just like a different universe where different characters were something, but they all knew each other, and Barry knew all the characters in that alternate universe, and they're like, "How did you know me? How did you know that?" So it wasn't something new, but it's fine to watch. But I think they could have done something different, though.
What do you think, Will?
I was kind of hoping that they would follow what the Flashpoint is in the comics, and Barry comes back and he loses his powers because he didn't get hit by lightning because he wasn't at that whatever. But the way that they did it this time is Wally West, his stepfather's son in the original timeline, gets hit by lightning because he's tuning up his car and he had this super high fuel in there, and it turns him into the Flash. What they didn't explain is, if Barry's in this new timeline, how is he still the Flash? Right? He's zipping around, and he's zipping around with his normal clothes, so he's going super speed, but they're not falling off him. And, I mean, they had a lot of continuity
Yeah, that's what
issues
I was
with this
thinking.
episode.
How come the friction didn't burn?
Right, they're having a lot of
clothes off
continuity issues with this. Which
You're
is,
right
you know,
about that,
okay.
because in the comic for Flashpoint, when he caused that to change, he had to go to Thomas Wayne, the Batman's father, who would become the Batman of this world, because his son died instead of him in the alternate timeline, and have him help him recreate the accident so that he could become the Flash, because he didn't have his powers. Because it never
Well,
happened.
yeah, I understand they couldn't have done that, but they could have had some other means of him. Because they have Wally West. Wally West could have maybe recreated something to create the thing. I mean, to me, I know it probably hasn't, resolved anything, but they kind of, that one episode, okay, he went back, his mother's dead again, he's come back, but the new timeline is kind of altered again because his stepfather's daughter doesn't like him anymore. They've separated. They've become
I have a
estranged.
theory
Whatever.
about that. I'll talk about that in a
But
second.
again, to me, okay, they're going a different rate. I understand they want to be different from the comics, but they have to explain. I mean, and when they did Flash, they explained how he got his powers, why he has to wear the suit, why he can't run fast with his normal clothes on because they'll fall off because he's going super speed. They kind of lost that in this episode to try to get everybody in. And then again, they haven't explained that new guy, the new Flash guy they had in there, where he got his powers from. We're probably going to see that a little bit later on.
No.
Because they had that kind of flash at the end of the episode with him
he's
in
not
his
going to
bed.
become he's not going to be a speedster. I'll tell you about him real quick. The guy he's going to become in the new timeline is Dr. Alchemy. That's a different villain. I thought that was
I saw that in it's Captain Alchemy, and
yeah.
Okay, well,
so
why was he a speedster in this episode here then?
So what they did was kind of clever. I wasn't expecting it. I knew there were going to be two villains, but I didn't know they were going to be the same person in each timeline, being different. He's not going to have his speed powers in the current continuity. So the character they made him be. His costume, by the way, was the stupidest thing. It was like a Power Rangers Flash costume.
I didn't get that. It looked weird. I didn't like it.
Yeah, it looks stupid. I'm just going to say stupid. That's the only word I can think of. But the rival was always a character that was the Jay Garrick's version of the Reverse Flash and his enemy in the old comics. But it was just a nod as far as the name goes. But as far as him being a speedster, that's done. Because what they did at the end was they alluded to the fact that in this altered sort of brought back timeline, although not perfectly, he's going to become Dr. Alchemy, who is another major villain of the Flash. So basically the same actor, the same guy in each universe is like a different type of an enemy for him. And I thought that was kind of clever. It would be like Zoom being two different enemies because of an alteration in time, but the same person. So I thought that was a little bit clever on the part of the writers. But just so you guys know, that's what that was all about.
Wouldn't you agree that the Flashpoint in the comics would have enough material to cover 22, 23 episodes of TV?
But we all know it would get reversed back, and I think that's why they didn't waste time on more than one episode. I think that's that part I kind of like. Some people have argued like at least 2 episodes. But I didn't mind that they just jumped back to... Because I'm not sure if it really is over with. If you think about it...
I guess I agree. I don't think it's quite over with. Because, again, the timeline is not restored.
You know that old thing, like that old trope about the dream within a dream type thing? Because
I don't think it's a dream.
Well, not
I don't
that,
think it's... I think they're just...
I mean in time travel ways. Because he comes back and he thinks everything's back to normal. But then we find that little thing at the end where he starts to talk to Joe and Wally and he realizes... everything's not exactly the way he thought it would be when he comes back. Something's not right. Something's off. So whether or not...
Again, I was expecting a more longer episode run of... again, if it's just that one episode for Flashpoint, that's disappointing to me. They could have taken half the season, half the episode, 6, 10, to do Flashpoint. Right, I think, is what I was expecting. Hopefully this is still a continuation of it.
I think it is
because you can't just resolve Flashpoint in one episode. You really can't.
I honestly don't think it has. I think we're going to find out from what I've heard in the rumors, and I don't know if this is true. There's that promised 4-way, and they teased a I don't know if you guys saw that Fight Club thing that they showed on the that teaser trailer.
Yes, I've seen that. Yeah,
Supergirl. Although that's not actually a story. That's a little thing that they.
No, it's just a tease.
Yeah, it's a tease. I have heard, though, that the reason for them all getting together is not only because of these aliens called the Dominators, but it has something to do with the fallout from what Barry did. So I think there's going to be...
Well, it has to, because they have to reconcile Supergirl's universe with everybody else's. So I'm thinking they're building up to that, too.
Right. Because some people are saying Flashpoint leads to Crisis. Like we talked about a long time ago.
Yeah,
their version of Crisis.
Like I say, I don't have a problem with them changing stuff around. It's fine with me. But if this is, like I say, I'm waiting. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt until I see more episodes. But if this is their Flashpoint one episode, that's disappointing.
I honestly don't think it is. I think that we're underestimating what their plans are.
I'm not underestimating anything, but I will say this: like one of the corniest lines was when that Flashpoint hit him. You know, he gets all dizzy and crap, and then Iris says, "You're the Flash." Yeah. It's like, okay, he needs a hype person now to remind him who he is.
Well, but that's sort of a theme, though. They've had, like, Dr. Wells did that for him in the very first episode, and then Iris did that for him in one of the ends of the first season to get him motivated. And then I think it was kind of a mirror to that, so it was kind of a theme, like an echo. But it was kind of corny. You're right.
I did like the way that what's his face, the dude scientist, what's his name?
Cisco.
Cisco. I like he's a billionaire. He's
I
rich
know,
as
I
hell.
love that,
And he's
right?
like, you tell me that there's a universe there where I'm not rich or I'm not a billionaire? That sucks, or something like that.
Yeah.
And then he had that one line where he's like, the guy's just created those two tornadoes, and he says he's like he's some kind of weather wizard or something, inserting his name slap. I like that stuff where they put that stuff in there.
I like the part where he brings Caitlin to the Star Labs, and she's like, "I'm just an eye doctor," and he's like, "Shit," kind of thing.
Right. I mean, I like the way that they didn't know each other. And he's trying to. I didn't like the way that he's zooming around. He's happy because his mom and his dad are back. That's fine. But
that was a little.
It was a little trope. I mean, it wasn't well done, but it was okay. I understand why the character would want that, right? But he's got the other dude. He's got Reverse Flash. He's got he's locked up in that that box, right?
Yeah.
And he's like telling you, look, you've changed time, and the guy's not listening to him. He's like, you're gonna beg me to kill your mom. I'm like,
and did you know
he basically did. He had to go. He had to.
No,
in
in all the super prisons they make, people joke about this, but it's true. Even in that jail, and in the jail they have in Star Labs. Do you see a toilet anywhere?
Well, yeah. And again, any kind of sci-fi fantasy, nobody talks about the bathroom. Nobody talks about on Star Trek. How do you go to the bathroom? There's no reference to a toilet near the bridge.
It's like,
right?
we just take a pill. We don't need to pee.
Yeah, no, you don't have bladders anymore once you become a character on a TV show. You just don't go to the bathroom. You stop having bodily functions,
Yeah, not only that, but he's in his Reverse Flash outfit, sticking up, and he doesn't even offer him changes of clothes, underwear, anything like that. He's like,
he's been in there for 3 months. He was in there for 3 months.
Yeah, so it's like,
in that box.
Maybe he vibrates his dirt out of his clothes. I don't know, because it's not like Barry gave a shit. He's just like, I'm offering you a big belly burger. So that's the only perk to being a prisoner of the Flash and his crew, is you get big belly burger for meals.
Yeah,
he's not a member of the crew. He was a prisoner. So yeah, I don't.
I do want to go back to Barry Allen and his parents.
Okay.
This dude, every time he sees him, it's like he's ready to cry. Oh, I just want to let you know I love you very, very much. And the mom's like, why are you hugging me so much? You're scaring me. And the dad's like, this dude, my son, it's like, I need to go teach him some baseball. He's a little too emotional. And why would you even have that in there? Because as a superhero, you've already moved on. Why do you need to reopen
That's the whole
old wounds?
purpose. That's why he went back. That's what Barry does. He just makes mistakes. That's what he does. He just makes mistakes.
Yeah, but she dies anyway.
Yeah, his memory's only 3 months old, though. Even though technically he lived that whole new life, he only remembers 3 months worth.
See, the thing is, if you're living this new life and you've got your mom and dad, Reverse Flash tells you, look, time is going to erase all your memories. You're not going to remember being the Flash. That's great. And then he gets all those memories back between when he lost his mom and dad and when he got them back. He would have that all filled in, all those 12, 20, 20, how many years he was. He wouldn't be the Flash. He wouldn't remember being the Flash, but he would have his life back. But he said, no, I got to reverse it. Because he wanted to keep his old memories. He wanted everything. He wanted his cake, and he wanted to eat it as well.
Right? And he can't have that.
No, he changed the past. Wanted to keep it. Look, you have to accept. Once you changed it, you accept it. You lose your memories. You go back to being just a normal guy, no speed and everything like that. That's what you should have done.
Oh, one thing we did learn in episode 1 on season 3 is that he lives in his parents' basement.
Yeah, I know.
Wow. I never thought about that, but that's true.
He's a geek living in his basement. I think that's a needle at the geeks in the basements.
It's a needle at the millennials.
There are some people that...
No, it's at those geeks who go to the comic book shows. I mean, the guys living in their basements with the sweatpants on.
Ponytails and all that. Yeah.
Right.
And trench coats.
Somebody made a good point, though, on something I was listening to earlier. Everybody kept saying, doesn't Barry learn, blah, 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 and all these changes keep happening, and the only thing they were starting to say was they didn't like about it was it keeps changing. Like, we keep seeing these alternate versions of his relationships with Iris and Joe and everybody else. But one of the things one of the other people on this podcast I listened to pointed out that that actually kind of caught my attention was, the fact that it changes back and forth isn't the point. It's how because the one person who retains all of it is the person who gets affected by all of it, which is Barry. And so it changes his character as his growth. And by the end of this episode, he's even starting to go, "Oh man, what did I do?" Like he usually does. And then he didn't. Well, hold on. He didn't, but he does point out that because of what he did, he kind of got over the whole both parents dying thing. But then he realized at what price, because when he heard about what's going on with Iris. You know what I mean?
Right, but it's like I've always said, the guy is a kid. Keeps making mistakes, and he's not learning from his mistakes. This is the third season, right? He's made a mistake in the first season, made a mistake in the second season.
But this
season, he has to learn what his responsibilities are. He has to. Otherwise, it's going to be repetitive. It's going to be like, people claiming arrows.
Yeah, I don't want to keep watching a show where somebody doesn't learn from their mistakes.
I saw a set photo where he is with the parallel father, Jay Garrick, from the last season, and they get together again. So hopefully this guy can teach him a few things. You know what I mean? Like, because I think he's like starting to realize that he's been stupid. I think he has to. I mean, he has to. Otherwise, it's going to be very monotonous and pedantic. That very last line, that very last moment in the episode is it says to me, yeah, I was able to get over it, and I was able to do this and this, but I fucked up. And I kind of was like he was aware now, shit, his powers and what he chose to do had major consequences for the people around him, and he doesn't quite know where he has to begin to go to fix things. Yeah, I mean, he had to allow Reverse Flash to kill his mom again. As he boasted. Say it. Kill my mom. You know what I mean? I wouldn't.
Yeah. Well, you got to understand, the alternate universe is going to follow a similar stream of the original universe that he came from. At some point, the mom has got to die.
The only reason I can sympathize with Barry a little bit is because if I had powers and I could bring both of my parents back, would I do it? I would be tempted, but
I wouldn't do it because they wouldn't be the same person.
Although, in fairness, though, his parents were taken from him by murder in both cases. So
I get that. I know what it's like to lose a parent. I totally understand that. But would I bring them back? No. Do I miss them? Yes.
Yeah.
It just wouldn't be the same, and you're going to be opening those wounds that you had before that have finally closed up. Why do that to yourself?
It's like he's not learned. I mean, most people have to learn when they lose somebody. It's horrible. It's heart-wrenching, but you have to accept it. He didn't want to accept it.
Right.
He lost his father. His father was still alive, but I mean, his father just died.
But
he still hadn't got over his mother's death.
But he lost them both to murder, and he was robbed of a lifetime. He knew that.
It doesn't matter how you lose them. The point is they are gone.
I think with the mom, though, the reason it was harder for him was that he was deprived. He originally had her, and the other dude changed it. You know what I mean? It wasn't the natural timeline. He deprived him of what was meant to be his normal life with her. It wasn't like it was because the Reverse Flash went back in time and killed her. It wasn't like his mom had cancer and would have died anyways. It was in an unnatural death.
The one thing you can't change in any time travel is time itself. Now, in your universe, in the universe that we know as our prime, if our mother dies, regardless of who kills her or her health, or if she dies, if you go to an alternative universe, somebody's going to die in there.
Yeah. You know what's funny is at the end of the episode, the Runaway Dinosaur, the Kevin Smith episode where he meets the Speed Force mom, and Iris pulls him back out of the Speed Force. And then they both go, "Oh, we love each other. Let's just accept it." That was the episode where he decided to go back or was it the one after? It was the one after. I'm sorry. The one after he decides, "I'm going to change it all." And He had just it seemed to me like he had just accepted that. Oh, wait a minute. Now that I think about it, Zoom had just killed his dad right after that. So that's probably what.
No, but again, this goes back to the point. He'd reconciled with something the previous episode.
Yeah.
He'd made up and he'd said, "Oh, look, we are going to live together. We're going to be happy together." But then all of a sudden something happened. He's like, "I can't do it. I got to go back and save my mom." He's going back that moment in time. Until he can. The thing is, how many times have they been back to that one period of time? 3 or 4 times now. There's 3 or 4 of flashes and the reverse flashes running around there.
I'm a little bit of a romantic in the sense that I didn't mind the way that Iris sensed something about the two of them, and she kind of helped him. But at the same time, it felt a little rushed. But I did like the whole. Anybody that's read the Flash comics knows who Kid Flash is, Wally West, and I liked the way they kept making the joke about, no, you're Kid Flash, no, you're Kid Flash, don't call me Kid, no, you're Kid Flash. And his sister, and Iris, in this world where she did have him as a brother, she was like putting him in his place throughout the whole episode. She's like, shut up, you're Kid Flash, okay. And he's just kind of backing down. I kind of like that. I thought that was kind of cute. I think he'll obviously be Kid Flash again, because that's what they're leading up to, is that it'll happen again. I don't know if it'll be... Well, obviously, we know from that one episode, because Jesse went back to Earth too, but they both got hit by that Speed Force explosion, and...
Well, what's going to happen to... I forget her name. God, Jesse? I'm bad with her names. No, the female chick, female scientist who got hit. Oh, no, it was Jesse. No, it was Jesse who got hit. Yeah. It was Jesse who got hit.
They showed behind-the-scenes set photos of her costume. So I know she's coming back as Jessie Quick the way she's in the comics. And Jessie Quick is a very popular character who's been in DC for a very long time. She, in the original version of Jessie Quick, she was the daughter of 2 of the members of the Justice Society of America. And so her origins in this story with the whole being the daughter of what's his face there? What's that dude's name? The scientist guy.
Oh, you mean the place who owns that place, right?
Yeah, the Star Labs guy. Why can't I remember his name?
Star Lab. It's Star Lab, isn't it? Star?
No, it's the guy. The guy in the wheelchair. Harrison Wells. She's in this version. She's the daughter of the Earth 2 Harrison Wells, but in the comics, she's the daughter of Johnny Quick, who's a superhero from the Justice Society and Liberty Bell. And she became a speedster and all that. In this version, she's the daughter of Harrison Wells from Earth 2, and that's fine. Those liberties, I don't mind that stuff. But she is coming back, and they've shown her costume behind the scenes, so that's coming. So there's a lot of good stuff happening. CW is really on their point right now. Legends tomorrow. Oh, and for those that don't know, they're listening, Flash Season 2 dropped today on Netflix. So if you haven't checked out Flash Season 2 to catch up on the whole Multiple Earth thing, this is the time to go on Netflix and check it out and catch up. So, yeah. So that's good. Legends... What were you going to say, Anthony?
Yeah, I was just... are you done talking about the Flash, or are you just...
Yeah, I'm getting ready to move on. But if you want to say something, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to get all of your assessment on the first episode. Was it good? Was it bad? Was it poor? Needs improvement?
I see it as interesting, because I didn't expect them to try to contain it in one episode, but that's what I think is tricky about it. I don't think it is contained in one episode.
And what about you, Will?
I think I've said it. I mean, it was a good episode as long as it's not going to be just the one episode that contains the Flashpoint.
I don't think it is. I think we're being tricked.
You gotta look at it this way. It's like, to me it was sort of lackluster because, Barry's gonna undo it, right? As soon as he realizes that he screwed up. So he's just gonna go undo it, go back to his normal universe, and everything is fine. I don't know. I hope they don't keep that thread going.
I just think that because of that last tease about Iris, I think that what we're getting at is that he thinks it's kind of like when I said dream within a dream. That trope is used a lot in, it was used in Doctor Who, it was used in a lot of movies and shit. And I think what it is that he thinks the timeline's fixed, he's getting a hint that it's not, and that there's going to be little tweaks and that because what they said on Twitter last year was that Flashpoint will not be a season-long event, but it will take a few episodes. They did say a few episodes. They said this a long time ago. This has only been one episode, so that tells me that what we think is fixed is not fixed, and that it's going to take a few more episodes to really get things back on track.
I hope so, because again, like you say, looks like it's not quite back where it was. So,
right.
And I think, like I say, they're going to have to reconcile with Supergirl's universe. But it's just, to me, it seemed a very quick way to get through Flashpoint. They could have done that several episodes, and like I say, they did it last year, so I'm pretty sure they didn't want to do it this year with him losing his speed. That was kind of boring episodes where he didn't have his speed and he was moping and I'm just a normal human. I got to take the bus. But again, this is where they should have done it. This is the perfect time for him to lose his speed because he changed the timeline and he's no longer the Flash. After that would have been great because he would have had Wally West there as the Flash or the Kid Flash. And he would have been having to work up, how do I get to meet Wally West? And I mean, it would have been fun to see him to explain, oh, I'm the Flash. No, you can't move fast. You're pretty slow. It would have been a fun interaction.
I have one theory as to why he didn't lose his speed. I'll make this short. I think that because of what happened when he kind of went into the Speed Force, that one episode, and he really met the Speed Force and he actually communicated with the Speed Force. I think that what was going on was it goes beyond time and space as far as any changes. I think that once he got through that episode and he really connected with them, his powers, I don't think they can be taken away anymore. I think he's kind of really bonded with the Speed Force in a way that you can't just reverse.
Well, time doesn't like him because they were taking away his memories.
But that's my point. I think that it transcends time and space. I don't think that his connection to the Speed Force is lost because of an alteration in time anymore after that episode. I think that they kind of gave him a trial, like a Jedi type trial, which will transcend into our next topic. But I think that's why, as far as the reason why, if the writers were sitting there going, oh, why hasn't he lost his powers? I think that has something to do with their thinking. In this universe, in this context. Just a theory, we'll find out. Because they are good writers, and I have faith in them, because they've proven that I really think that they're going to do a good job at explaining all this. So.
All right. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, benefit of the doubt, they've proven that they can explain things later, and usually it's satisfactory. All right, on to our next topic. So, I watched the second episode of Rebels Season 3, and I know that you guys did. What did you guys think about it?
I didn't.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Anthony.
Yeah, I watched it. It was all right. Darth Maul and getting the one up on him. Maul, sorry. What did I say?
You said Darth Maul. Remember, he doesn't go by Darth anymore.
You said Darth Maul, like he's going down to the mall.
But no, his name, we know him as Darth Maul in the movies.
No, I know. They've been making a big deal.
So I'm going to call him Darth Maul, and you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know.
M-A-L-L, yeah.
M-A-U-L, Maul.
I'll call him Maul.
Go to the mall? But anyway.
Oh, yeah, he wants to go to the mall.
So Darth Maul gets one up on them, captures their friends, and says, give me both holocrons, the Sith and the Jedi, and I'll let them go. And but then he needed Ezra's help to open them. Go figure.
But did you notice what he was talking about at the end of the episode when he had that vision, when he talked about the two sons, and then Maul said he lives? You know what he was talking about?
No.
Obi-Wan. Tatooine has two sons.
I was thinking Tatooine, but I didn't really put too much into it.
No, there's nothing wrong with that if you didn't notice it. It's not like you failed in geekdom or anything like that, in my opinion. But I'm just like,
I got an F in geekdom because I didn't say, oh yeah, they're talking about Tatooine and Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Right? No, I know. I watched it, and then I'm watching all the reactions from all the other people that seen it, and when Ezra sees.
But I'm going to correct you.
Good.
You got to remember, Obi-Wan Kenobi is the one who killed Darth Maul, and Obi-Wan Kenobi was not hiding out on Tatooine during that time.
Not until after the twins were born.
Right. Twins weren't born yet in the Rebels.
Right. No, you're right.
So he's not on Tatooine.
Oh, he is. Luke's about 16. He's the same age as Ezra, in fact. That's one of the things when they started Rebels that they pointed out. Both Luke and Ezra are the exact same age. And of course, Leia. Because
if that was the case, then Maul would have been dead already. Remember, Obi-Wan killed him when he was a Padawan.
No, you're forgetting Clone Wars when he was brought back.
Apprentice.
Or an apprentice, yeah.
No, Maul's still alive. You're forgetting. You get your timelines mixed up, buddy. You're forgetting.
Oh, is this another alternate? Did Flash come and meet Obi-Wan Kenobi and says, "Hey, I'll make a new one for you"?
No, Maul. When Maul was brought back in Clone Wars by the witches of Dathomir, he wasn't dead. He got cut in half by Obi-Wan, but he stayed alive because of the dark side. And then the witches used their force magic.
All right, that's a campy story. Dude was cut in half. He died from that. Come on.
But it's canon. I'm just saying, and he is alive. He has a cybernetic lower half. They explained all this in the Clone Wars. You had to see the episode.
So he has a metal junk.
No, I don't have my timelines mixed up, Will. He, yes, he does. So, in the Clone Wars, which takes place way after Obi-Wan cut him in half, they had a whole arc where the Sisters of Dathomir, the witches, found Maul, and and they found his upper half. He had been kept alive, as they explained it, because he clung to the dark side to will him to not completely die. And then they used force magic to bond him to a lower cybernetic body. Did you catch all that?
Yeah, I did. I just don't buy it.
So, well, I had to have seen it, though. You go to Netflix, Clone Wars. It's a whole arc. It's season 6. Or 5 and 6, I should say. So, anyways, then Maul tried to take over Mandalore, and all that stuff. There was a huge story arc with him and his brother. And Savage Opress, that was his name. And then Palpatine...
Now, wait a minute. That he's in a robot body now? A robot half body.
Robot half body, yes.
So he has a robot penis?
Yes, that's what I say. He has a metallic junk.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Anthony. I wasn't listening to you.
I'm just letting you know. This is
busy eating peanuts.
You never do.
Majority of the fans love it, and this is you have to see it to buy it. I know it sounds corny when you listen to the description.
No, it is corny. It's ridiculous.
But you have to.
You got to remember with the Sith, there is always one master and one apprentice.
He wasn't a Sith anymore at this point. You have to have seen the episode because Palpatine he took over Mandalore, and then Palpatine came back after he had taken his own apprentice and said there can only. In fact, he said what you just said. There can only be two, and you are no longer my apprentice. And he attacked him, and then he killed his brother. And then Palpatine was about to kill Maul, and he decided to spare him. And then there's a whole other story about how he got away and went off in his own direction. And then
I don't buy that. I don't buy that.
Why would he spare him?
Why would
Palpatine spare anybody?
He said that he wanted
son
him
of a
dead.
Bitch on the planet, on the universe.
He didn't all of a sudden get a good heart and say, "I want to let you live."
No, that wasn't why. He had
robot body.
He was going to use him for something. You had to see the episode. It was one of the best fights they've ever shown in Star Wars.
You mean it's a cartoon, right?
It's still canon, though. Dave Filoni and everybody in the Clone Wars and Rebels, everything.
I don't recognize their authority.
You don't. Well, that's up to you. I'm just saying, Lucas was there helping them supervise the storyboards and everything. He wanted this story to happen, and then they took over it from Disney afterwards when they made Rebels, and this story kept going. Maul came back. And Palpatine, Darth Sidious, came into
Palpatine.
Palpatine came into.
That's the way Anthony would say Patine.
So he.
No, I wouldn't. No, Palpatine.
so Maul and his brother, who he took as his apprentice, who had a double-bladed lightsaber, they took over the Mandalorian homeworld. They completely did this whole arc where they took over. And this was during the Clone Wars. Palpatine comes walking in with 2 lightsabers. And it was voiced by the same dude who actually voiced him in the movies. And he says, Master, I did all this for you. He was bullshitting him. And he says, yeah, right, whatever. I'm paraphrasing. He says, yeah, whatever. I don't. He goes, there's only 2, and you are no longer my apprentice. So Palpatine pulls out 2 lightsabers, and he goes nuts on them. And they have this incredible fight. He kills his brother. And just as he's about to kill Maul, he stops and says, Maul says, "Please don't kill me, Master," and he's like, "Oh, I'm not going to kill
I don't
you."
see Maul begging for
He
his
did.
life.
He totally begged for
I
his
don't
life.
see him begging for his life.
He
That's
did, though.
ridiculous.
And then Palpatine started shooting him with Force lightning and just started torturing him. It was crazy. But seriously, that's what happened.
Oh, come on. Even when freaking what was it, Anakin chopped off the head of Dooku, and even Dooku didn't ask for it, beg for his life.
He did.
He just stood there and took it.
And Maul did. And I'll after the show, I'll link you the battle because it was really actually a really good fight. But anyways, the point I'm trying to make
Are you sure that's not fan fiction?
No, it's not fan fiction. It's canon. And
Could be very good canon.
well, it is what they're following. They're linking.
But again, like I say, I'm with Anthony. I don't see Maul. I mean, look at him from the movies. Guy was a badass.
Yep.
He didn't complain. He didn't bitch. He didn't even scream when he was cut in half.
They made him a better character in the cartoons. Actually, they let him speak.
How is he better when he's sitting there screaming for his life?
Well, that's the last part of what happened. You had to have seen how he took over and planned and killed. He got into this duel with the head of the Mandalorians, and he chopped his head off. It got really gruesome, and he took over the whole clan of the entire planet. And then he had he was doing exactly what Sith do. He was like getting in with all these deals and people he was manipulating, and he took control of the whole planet, Mandalore. But then Palpatine came in and fucked it all up. You have to see the story arc. I mean, me telling you this doesn't justify what you have to see to believe. It was the way that they built it up. He was justified in how he learned from Palpatine how to be a true Sith, to take control and do all this shit behind the scenes. He knew that Palpatine didn't know he was still alive. And and at this point, Vader, the only person, he even said the word pretender Dooku. He had planned to kill Dooku and resume his place as Palpatine's apprentice. And he was going to present the whole plan to Palpatine, like, see, I've come back from the dead and I proved myself worthy. But Palpatine said it was like looking at it like...
How did he get to Dathomir?
His brother found him.
And then said, let me take you to Dathomir.
Yep. You have to see the episode. He was preserved. His life was preserved from not dying. You got to remember that we talked about this on a previous episode. A Jedi or a Sith are able to overcome the physical and the spiritual if they have the Force at their side. So he basically has so much hate and anger for Obi-Wan cutting him in half that his upper body was able to stop his soul from being released to death and stay preserved while someone found him.
But his body would die.
Well, it didn't though because of the dark side. In this,
yeah.
But,
see, that's
but
where
the thing, okay, look,
you lose me.
What's his name? Obi-Wan's apprentice, Obi-Wan's master. What's his name? The first, no Yoda. The first master, the one he's within the Qui-Gon, right? He gets stabbed. He died. Why isn't he able to stay alive? And then he comes, and the intimation that he was a spirit guiding Obi-Wan later on Tatooine and so forth. Well, come on. If everybody was doing that, you'd have a bunch of Jedi running around. They wouldn't be able to die.
Yeah, I mean, Ghost Hunters would actually be a real show if that was the case.
Yeah, but you got to understand the Jedi and the Sith do things completely different. And Qui-Gon, in his mind, he did beat death in the way he came back as a spirit, not caring about the body and the physical. But Maul did care about his body because he's all about what's selfish reasons. I don't want to lose my body. Fuck you guys. The world, the way like a zombie. So, I mean, I'm only trying to go by memory on that episode where they brought him back. But as far as Rebels is concerned, in this episode, is what I'm trying to get to is that Maul, when he came back and we saw him with the whole Ahsoka fighting Vader episode last season, that was already way after that happened. And Maul getting back to this episode review, so Maul has dropped the whole Darth thing. He's given up on being a Sith, and he's like, I have my own agenda. And he learns through Ezra in this episode that Obi-Wan's still alive. There's a hint. He brought the two holocrons together, and you keep saying, like, oh, George only likes it because of Tom Baker. Well, Tom Baker's character, the Bendu, points out that if you take these two holocrons, the Jedi holocron and the Sith holocron, and combine them, you're going to be able to see things that no one should be able to see, the true future, something you desire, whatever you want to know. So Ezra and Maul are sitting there, and they're combining them, and what Ezra sees is he mentions twin sons and something else I can't remember. But by the end of the episode, Maul's like limping off, going, "He lives. He lives." He's talking about Obi-Wan. So that hints to the fact.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
Well, and where did you get that information?
Because Obi-Wan is the man who he hates most. And when Maul was brought back to life in that Clone Wars thing, he was obsessed with killing Obi-Wan. That was all he tried to do throughout the whole rest of that Clone Wars thing, was kill Obi-Wan to get revenge on him for what he did to him. So him saying he lives, and the fact that Obi-Wan's still alive and the twin sons, yeah. He also gave a hint, too, when he said, "What are you looking for? Hope. Luke is a new hope." So there's a lot of little Easter eggs planted there. That it could be he. If he's saying he lives, he's looking for Obi-Wan. He didn't know Obi-Wan was still alive until Ezra.
Wouldn't you think that he would know where to go? Plan with the two sons to go kill Obi-Wan?
Well, now he does.
Alright, so then how come he didn't go kill Obi-Wan in episode 4?
This takes place before episode 4.
Alright, yeah, there's no account of him chasing down Obi-Wan Kenobi trying to kill him. Because then Maul would die again, don't you think? One of them would die.
He is. Maul is going to die. I have no doubt
And
about
who
that.
kills him?
I'm sure it's going to be either Ezra or Obi-Wan.
Okay. I still don't buy it, George.
It could be Kanan. It's possible. He's learned how to overcome his eyesight a little bit with the Force. That was another development in this episode, so I like that. I like how the Ghost crew tried to kill them all, but he kicked their asses. Anyways, so yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that people have been taken away, but if you haven't seen the Clone Wars arc with Maul, it's not going to mean as much to you. So I would recommend going to Netflix and looking up season 5 and 6 of the Clone Wars, because it was a great storyline. I mean, like I said, it may sound corny when I sit there and explain it, but it was really well done by by the people that did the show. And very few fans have complained about how Maul came back. And you know how fans are in these geekdoms. They get really picky and say, screw that, that's stupid. Actually, most people have accepted that Maul's back in a logical way, because like I said, I'm not doing it justice by explaining it in words. You have to see it. So, I blame Will.
What the hell have I got to do with this? I didn't even watch the show.
No, I don't know. All right, so like Anthony said, well, in theory, we were going to talk about Rebels for a short period of time, but it dragged out a little bit longer. That's fine, though, because our next topic is something we can definitely... Actually, before I talk about Luke Cage, because, I mean, I think there's a lot we can say about that, I want to jump to the next one real quick and then go back to Luke Cage, because this topic's going to be definitely not be a long topic. But I think it's important to talk about it.
I have 2 words for that.
What?
But go ahead.
All right. I know, your words are who cares. I know what you're going to say, but I just want to bring it up anyways. So Wonder Woman was officially announced as bisexual by the writers. A lot of people have had words about this that, it's obviously duh. She's from an Amazon nation that grew up with only women in a paradise of beautiful, perfect women, and happiness is one of the criteria for paradise. Of course she's had sexual relations with some female, but it's just that until it was said by these people, it was all subtext. It was always, don't ask, don't tell. What do you guys think? Besides, who cares?
My 2 words.
I really don't care. It's a comic book. It's just a comic book character.
Yeah.
What do we care about her
And then,
sexuality?
they're doing that to appease a certain part of the community. I totally get that, but who cares? Why is that a factor? Why is that an issue? Why
That's
does
the thing
he,
now. Whenever an author or somebody comes out, they're simply trying to appease. Oh, certain people on Harry Potter are gay. Wonder Woman's bisexual. It's just to appease certain. I mean, we just automatically just okay, no problem, just move on. I mean, what's the point now?
Yeah, can we get on with the movie instead of talking about her backstory? We know her
now
story
it's not
was...
the straight people that are talking about it. It's the people that want. Oh, we want to have a sexual person. We want to have a bisexual. We want to have a gay person. They're the ones who are bringing it up now.
I don't think they're actually trying to do the agenda, although it seems that way.
I'm just going to say that She-Hulk is actually transgendered because that's Hulk turning into a female.
I just think that what's
I'm
happening.
gonna get a lot of hate mail. You can follow me on Twitter at Anthony Battles. Send all your hate mail.
That's Bruce Banner turning into She-Hulk.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
God.
I'm just gonna say that the She-Hulk is a Hulk transitioning.
I'll get behind that. It'll be pretty good.
They do have a
Bruce
lot
Banner
of,
and Bruce Banner into She-Hulk.
Oh man!
But the thing is,
There you
I never really watched She-Hulk as a cartoon or a comic book. Does she have a bra?
No.
I mean, the guy, the Hulk keeps his underwear on, right? Or pants on.
She has control.
But if it's a She-Hulk, does she have to keep her bra on?
No,
And how does the bra expand?
Well, because she stays as She-Hulk 99% of the time because she chooses to. She has control of her personality. She's not like a monster when she changes.
But does she have breasts?
Oh, dude, she has more sex than anybody in the Marvel universe besides. There's only one character in Marvel that has had more sex than her, and that's Luke Cage.
Her breasts. I'm not talking about sex. I'm talking about breasts. Tits, boobs.
She wears a costume that the Fantastic Four dude, Reed Richards, created that expands with her when she changes.
So it keeps her covered.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous because there's a lot of states that allow women to go topless. As long as you're not showing genitals, then you should be fine. So she should be just like the Hulk, have the pants on, no shirt, and Hulk smash.
What states allow women to walk down the street topless?
New York.
No, they don't.
Yeah, New York City, you could do that.
You cannot walk down the street in New York
Yes,
City
you can.
topless. No,
Look at the laws. Go to the laws. Google it.
All right, well, as far as She-Hulk goes, she spends at least 99% of her time as She-Hulk. She actually doesn't want to change back, and she has sex with constant characters, almost like she's an info. Is the thing about She-Hulk. The only person who turned her down was Wolverine. He said, "I don't want sloppy seconds." He said that. It was an actual
hot dog down a hallway. Hot dog down a hallway.
I don't know how we got on that subject, but anyway.
And no, you said she has sex with everybody, and then Wolverine says no.
Yeah, she does.
And I said hot dog down the hallway.
Yeah,
there's a reason why.
She-Hulk is like, she's slut-shamed a lot by the people out there, but the character is very promiscuous. In fact, Jarvis, the Avengers butler in the comics, asked Captain America to kick her out because he was tired of the constant men she was bringing back to her bed in the Avengers mansion, and the PR from the Avengers was getting really bad because of her constantly bringing men home to have sex with them. She was constantly sleeping with characters, whether they were human, metahuman, whatever. She was like just sex. That's all she cared about, which is fine by me. I love characters like that.
Yes, we know. We learned that from the last week's episode.
That's true. So, yeah, okay. So anyways, getting back to, I don't know how we flipped to that, but Wonder Woman being bisexual shouldn't be an issue. Everybody is over complicating the situation. I don't think they were trying to create an agenda thing. I think that there's a rumor that they're planning on doing a new story arc where they actually get into that, and that's why they wanted to kind of set it up by saying it. I think it's one of those things that, like, the guy, something Morrison, I forget his name, William Morrison, whoever created Wonder Woman, when he created the character, he intended her to be this way. And he was also into bondage and all this other crap. But back in the 1940s when he made her, obviously they weren't going to allow him to publish anything that had that kind of crap. But he tried to get away with it in little innuendos and stuff. But he was especially into... He had 2 wives, he was polyamorous, and he also had a girlfriend. There was he had 2 or 3 women in his bed at any given time. And this is the guy who made Wonder Woman. So his entire mindset when he created the character was he lived that kind of a lifestyle. But back then, the comics weren't going to just publish that stuff. So the whole lasso, he actually added the lasso as a bondage symbol. And that's a fact. It's a truthful fact. And, well, there's no such thing as a non-truthful fact. But what I'm trying to say is this is the character's origins. So the fact that she would have possibly had lesbian relationships in the past with women because that was all she had access to is a no-brainer. I think that what they're doing now is they're just trying to say we're just going to talk about it. We're not going to imply it anymore. I don't think they're trying to say we're changing a character. See, this is the thing that people are trying to say. We're making a character gay that was a major character. It's like saying Superman was gay. No, they're not doing that. They're simply saying the words that everybody knew but were never spoken. That's the difference. They're saying, yes, she swings both ways. Who cares? But there's a difference between saying that...
I thought you said this was going to be a short talk.
And that I'll leave it at that. That will make it shorter.
Thank you.
George, and you tell we haven't talked in like 5 minutes, so...
Yeah, sorry. All right, I just want to clarify that part because some people are getting that stuff confused.
We don't care. Just release the movie already.
All right. So Luke Cage. I mean, we all have seen it.
I've seen it up to level. I've seen it up to episode
level.
10. I gotta see the last
level
3
10
episodes.
in Luke Cage.
Yeah, I'm at level 10. I'm at level 10.
Level 10.
I got 3 more levels to go.
Luke Cage was released on Friday.
I'm going to beat Luke Cage.
And I was done by Saturday watching all
You're
of it.
one of those people that made it break on Saturday. I couldn't.
Yes, I was. I was able to watch all of it. It didn't break on me.
Well, we all know why you did that because you can't really move around much.
Yeah, I know.
It broke on me. I was trying to watch the whole thing by the end of Saturday, but there was several hours where the internet, where Netflix was down because everybody was watching Luke Cage. I was like, shit.
Well, that's good. Like I said, I didn't watch it. There was a lot for me to watch this weekend, so I didn't get around to it. And I also, after Daredevil came out, I have been pacing myself, giving myself a week to watch them. I did the same thing with Jessica Jones. I'm doing the same with because I like binge watching. I don't binge watch, but what I do is I watch a couple of episodes, up to 3, and then I take a break. And then I'll come back an hour, come back a day later, or whatever, and then.
I sort of tried that. I was like watching, and I'm like, "Oh, that was good. Let me see what the next one shows."
Yeah, exactly.
Then I watched it. Oh, that was good. Let me see what the next one shows.
I agree, but the thing with Luke Cage is, the first 4 or 5 episodes didn't do that for me. I was like, I don't really need to see what's coming next because I kind of figured it out. Because for me, Luke Cage in this one, he
taught me how to pick up a chick at a bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait. Before we hold on, Will. Before we talk any further, I do want to contain what we spoil to within the first 2 to 3 episodes, so that we have more to talk about later. Actually, you know what? I'm not really too worried.
I want to go to episode 6.
Right,
I want to go up to level 6.
Yeah, go ahead. All right, go ahead, Will. I'll let you start.
Well, for me, I mean, when I was watching it, and I was like, okay, we're in Brooklyn. I mean, we're in where is it?
They kept reminding us about
Harlem.
Harlem. We're in Harlem this time. And I've seen people comment on this, and I don't put myself with the music because I really don't understand a lot of the music. But that's beside the point because the music fits the genre.
Oh, you don't understand hip hop and jazz?
Dude,
no,
the music
no.
was the
I understand jazz. I don't understand hip hop.
The music.
I don't listen to hip hop. But again, that's the thing. It doesn't matter that I don't understand it because it fits the show.
Yeah.
And it just brings you into it, especially when they open with one of those bands on the stage, and they have this clip of Cottonmouth watching it, and they're flipping around the city, and they're flipping around the Harlem and so forth. It fits the show because it fits the narrative that they're trying to say for that particular episode. It's good. I don't understand the music. I don't listen to it, but again, I don't have to. Because what you're listening to, just the tone of the music, I don't really listen to some of the lyrics, but it just brings you into it, which is good. I like that. You gotta
remember too, they made the music in this show was made for the show. It wasn't
good. I like that.
They didn't commission music that was done before the show. This was the show.
That's good. It brings it into it. It's to the part of the show. And I think, again, I don't know much about New York. I don't know much about Harlem, but I do know you had a lot of great singers and musicians and artists coming out of Harlem. So that, again, they're trying to bring that into it. People who don't know, people who have never been to New York and don't understand New York, bring that into the show, make it a part of this narrative. Then you be coming in. The thing with Luke Cage, though, the actual character itself, I really didn't connect with him until you get to the episode 6, because he's bulletproof. The dude, I mean, you've seen Daredevil. He's flipping around. He's kicking people. Jessica Jones, she's dodging. She's punching people. She can throw people through walls. But she's also a little not dainty, but she has to be careful because if she gets hit, she gets hit because she's not bulletproof. The dude walks into a bar bullets are flying. He's just standing there, bouncing off it, and he just walks up, starts slapping people around. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. He's great when he does it. He's just picking things up. He's like a bulldozer. It was great, but I'm like, you can't really get in with the character because he can't be hurt. It's the same thing you had with Wolverine. The one where he went to he was protecting his wife, and his wife died, and he had to get revenge on her. I heard a lot of people say you can't relate to it because you know he's good. He can't be killed. He can't be hurt. You
In
can
both
shoot
cases,
him. You can
they find a
right.
way, though.
But no. In the later one, when he went to Japan, they did because he took his powers away. But here, right? I know in this one, and I got to that episode. It's after episode 6, so but they tease it. Oh yeah, he's not as invincible as you think he is, and he's not. And that's where, to me, I'm like, okay, well now it gets interesting because with Daredevil, he's hurt, he can hurt, and you can see him. He falls in traffic, and he has to get the night nurse to come in, the whatever face is that nurse to help him. So he's vulnerable.
Rosario
Same with Jessica
Dawson.
Jones.
The night nurse,
Right.
yeah.
Right. Yes, she's the night nurse. That's her character. That's what she is. That's what she's becoming anyway.
She's the glue that I think is bringing in the
Right.
Defenders.
And same thing with Jessica Jones. She's vulnerable. You don't feel the same thing with Luke Cage until you get into it. Well, yeah. They had to introduce how to kill her.
Yeah.
Right, but leave Superman out of this because we're dealing with Marvel, not DC here.
Yeah, I know.
But the thing is, but I liked the way. When he came, they had the episode where he's in prison, right? And they showed his backstory. And he gets out, and he takes out his clothes from the line and whatever, and he's dressing them, and he looks like something out of the 70s. He's got the band on. And I've seen the pictures of the old Luke Cage character.
Yeah, that was
and
nice.
He's like, you look like a damn fool. I love that. But that's
Right.
what his character looked like in the car.
That was the homage to the comic. Exactly.
Right, I love that. I like that part. I just, to me, like I say, it took me a while, and that's what I'm saying. I've been taking a while getting into it. I'm at the episode 10. I got 3 episodes left. I am fully engaged in this story. It's fantastic. They've done very well because they have 2 bad guys in this one. We've already had up until episode 6 with Cottonmouth. You have a new bad guy now, and he's actually linked to. I mean, to me, they've done a great because I didn't see Cottonmouth dying. I did not see him dying.
But they also teased Diamondback since the beginning.
Well, yeah, I know they teased it.
He talked about it.
Right, I know they teased it, but I did not see Cottonmouth dying, and the way he died. It was brutal. I was like, damn.
Yeah, that's true.
It was brutal. I mean, you think this guy was bad. He got away with killing a cop. He was out on the street. He's just strutting his stuff. He's got the music, and he just gets beat down by his cousin, his female cousin, the council.
Alfred Woodard.
Right? She just beat the crap. I mean, just stomped him. Oh man! And now, I mean, it's completely flipped her character. You're kind of sympathetic with her because she's trying to prop him up and she was kind of into it, kind of not. She's becoming more ruthless and a lot less likable in that next one. I mean, she's not nice anymore. She's trying to be nice, but she's not.
Anthony, what did you think?
Without repeating what Will said, I liked it, and like I said. It was released on Friday, and by Saturday, I watched the entire season. So it was really good. I liked how they started it out. Only if Luke Cage knew who he was, and the Bart Pops knew who he was.
I like Pops. Pops.
Right, Pops was good,
pissed they
right?
killed Pops off. I pissed they killed Pops. I liked him.
It was too obvious. I knew that.
And Pops encouraged Luke to be a hero, and Luke is like, I'm no hero. He saw the potential that Luke had. Luke is eventually going to have to become a hero, for all of Harlem. And Pop saw that.
Okay, so I'm sorry. Until you're done.
No, I'm not done. But you were going to say something.
No,
go ahead.
ahead.
No, say it. Get it out of your system.
All right, I'm just going to say this one part, and then you can go on. Luke is no hero, but he's a player because when the Defenders comes out, you got Jessica Jones coming back into his life. You got Misty, and then you got the Night Nurse. So I have a funny feeling this is going to get interesting.
You also have Claire Temple, with whom he
yeah. That's
actually forms a relationship with. But, I'm getting ahead of myself. Anyway,
well, Temple's
yeah.
the night nurse. That's what we're talking about.
Clippert is the night nurse. She is the night nurse.
Yeah, I know that. But I was able to say her name when which you weren't.
I'm sorry. Better than me.
Yeah, we're just
Anyway,
using her,
but
her
Misty Knight, right? So she's out there, surveilling Cottonmouth at the club, and so I love the interaction between Luke Cage and her, and he calls her old.
Yeah. Look, she gives him was
fun.
like she was just tucking daggers at him.
Right? But you know what? They went and had coffee that night.
I love
But the thing again,
analogy.
he was like, I mean, you've got women who I mean, I don't understand why women are upset when you call them, mature or aged or experienced, whatever it is.
Well,
they want to be young. They want to be young and they want to be these 20-year-olds for the rest of their lives, and they're never going to get it back.
They're never satisfied with a compliment.
No,
or
they
actually
never are.
the truth. They're always saying, "Be honest, be honest. Just tell me the truth."
But they never want the
And then
truth.
when you tell them the truth, they get upset.
But
Luke
that's
Cage don't care. You're
like
old.
you said you're old, but you're experienced or something like that, right? And he's like,
Right.
got into her pants. He did. He got into her pants.
I had a girl break up with me because I couldn't remember the color of her eyes during sex. So that's women for you.
Well, we have all heard of a girl who sliced her boyfriend's member because he wouldn't look her straight in the eye.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You lucky she didn't do that for you, George.
Misty Knight, though, as a character, is actually very important. She's actually been confirmed as coming back for the Defenders outside of... The next show is Iron Fist, that's coming to Defenders, to Netflix, and then the Defenders. So, but Misty Knight, I was interested. I figured it was her in the first episode, and then they confirmed it in the second episode when they actually said her name. This character, though, is a lot more badass than in the comics as far as her role. She's I don't know if Netflix is going to do this, but I think they will. She's usually the love interest of Iron Fist, Danny. I forget his last name, but she usually is associated with him and has had a child with him and wants to marry him and all this stuff. So it's the black woman with the white man kung fu guy. So that whether that will happen and Luke will stay with Jessica and Temple.
He's not going to stay with Jessica Jones. Trust me.
He's supposed to.
We've
No,
had
he's not
that
staying with Jessica
conversation
Jones.
before.
He's not staying with Jessica Jones.
In the comics,
We're not talking about comics. We're talking about Netflix and Marvel television.
I still think it's going to happen.
I'm telling
I
you
don't
right
see it. I don't
now. Just listen to me. I'm telling you, as a black man, and Luke Cage being a black man, he is not going to Jessica Jones.
He's going to marry her, and he's going to have a kid with her just like
I don't think it's that. I just don't think they could have those. I mean, if they're in the Defenders, they don't want to have those. They could try it. They don't want that relationship. I mean, they could theoretically because it could divide the Defenders up and split them up and cause. But I just don't see it happening.
Not yet. We have to see how it plays out.
But anyway, back to Luke Cage.
Yeah, right.
The one of the white guy, Anthony brought this up before we started. People are calling Luke Cage racist because there's no white guys in there. The one white guy they had in there, the white cop.
Yeah.
I knew he was dirty like the second episode. I knew he was dirty.
He was on the payroll.
Right, I knew it. I was like, this guy is just sleazy. He's a nasty son of a... He's just... I mean, but then Misty's just liking him. I'm like, why is she liking this man? I don't like him, and I've only seen him for 40 minutes.
And then you have Shades, right? So Shades.
I don't know whether he's white or he's half Mexican or.
Well, he's light skinned.
Right.
But no,
he's
there was controversy from people of the Caucasian community saying that
Not me. I don't have
Luke Cage is racist.
No, it isn't. I
It's
don't
a
have a problem with it.
television
You may as well call Bill Crosby's. I mean, the TV show before he became bad. Whatever his name is. But before the whole TV show. I mean, I had a bunch of black people on it. What about?
Oh yeah,
whatever.
the Cosby Show.
Cosby Show.
No, the Crosby Show. Apparently. I'm joking.
Whatever, but I mean, it was. You can't just. I mean, this is Harlem. There's no white people in Harlem. right? How can you have white people in Harlem?
The show
Doesn't make sense.
The show is authentic. Whether people like it or not, they're just bitching because they want to.
I don't have a problem with it. I look, you just like it because of the story. Cottonmouth was a nasty piece of work.
If a story took place in ancient China and there was a white person in there, I would understand that people wouldn't like that because it's supposed to be, it's not, but in Harlem, probably 90% of it is black. You're right. There could be Hispanics, a few white people.
There's Puerto Ricans, there's, Latinos and mostly black.
Yeah.
That's what it is, right?
That's exactly what the Marvel executives said in an interview. They said, it's the way it is. We're not trying to hide it.
So you watch the story because it's the story. It's not the color of their skin. It's the people. Yep. If you can put white people in these same things, and you're going to have the Cottonmouth be the nasty piece of work, the big white guy being Luke. I mean, come on. Skin color is irrelevant. It's the story. And you've got Mariah, who appeared, she's a nice congresswoman. She's trying to, she was in on her cousin, but she doesn't want to be in on it. Now she's getting dragged further into it. She's becoming this really nasty woman. She's actually plotting how they can exploit. I mean, she killed him, and then she blamed Cage, and they've run with it, and now the whole neighborhood's up in arms against Cage, and the cops out to kill him. They beat a kid to get his location. I mean, it's nasty. That is just nasty piece of work that woman can do now, and she's all on her. Yeah. And you don't see any remorse in her at this point.
So some people have argued that 13 episodes is too long. That I have to.
No, and they don't have to watch it.
I think
13 episodes is fine. 13 episodes is fine.
Well, a lot of people. I have to admit that when I got to the 10th episode, I kept saying, they could have wrapped this up a little bit. They didn't have to drag out some of the stuff.
Really? Really?
Listen. Because
I got to the 13th episode. I'm like, can we have a little more?
But how many episodes did we get where somebody had to defend him and say, or how Temple had to say,
it was a very good written story, dude. You're not convincing me by telling me that it was dragged out.
How many episodes did we need her to say, Luke is innocent, Luke is innocent? You know what I mean? I mean, like 2 or 3 episodes.
She said it at the right time.
Yeah, I suppose that's true.
Look, I mean, the thing is, if you have less episodes, you have to say, if this is a manhunt for him. It's not like you've got a serial, like SVU or CSI where, they're out for him, and then by the end of the episode, it's all wrapped up. It's over 3 or 4 or 5 episodes that these guys are hunting for him. He's down in Georgia trying to get the bullets out of him, which I've now released because we've gone past the episode 6. But that was a spoiler, by the way. Sorry, but but they're hunting for him now. I mean, they're actually actively trying to find him, and I agree. You just see the way that they're setting him up to when he does come back into the city. What's he going to do? He's going to be hunted and hounded when he gets back.
You know what got me is that you have Cottonmouth and Diamondback, and those are snakes.
Yeah.
So what gang were they in that these people have names of snakes?
Well, you remember when he was hunting and he's got Luke Cage and he shot him, and he says, "Hey, Luke, come out to play." That was a homage to the Warriors, right?
Yeah.
So maybe they were part of the Warrior gang. I don't know.
What do we think about Luke's wife? I actually didn't.
Well, I don't. Like I say, I don't know.
Well, that's past episode 6, so we'll have to talk about that next week.
No, you're right. Next week. Sorry, I forgot which episode we were on. Okay, because we were kind of generalizing. One thing I will say about Luke Cage is that it feels... What I like about the Marvel shows, whether it's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or the Netflix series, is... And there's a rumor that they're going to be doing a crossover with the Netflix stuff and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. soon, is that they have different tones, but they're the same universe. Sort of like, how Wonder Woman is a different tone from the Zack Snyder's Batman v Superman and Man of Steel, but it's the same universe. And I like how Daredevil was one tone. Luke Cage focuses on the black community and the Harlem side of Hell's Kitchen.
But the tone, no, I mean, forget the black. Just the tone, the music that they brought in. You didn't hear a lot of music but they're bringing in the different part of the city, and they're making it a part of the.
I think it was important that music was.
Yes, it has to be because that's a part of Harlem.
Exactly.
Right. So it just brings that ambiance from the city into the show. And he's not going to fight like Daredevil because he's bulletproof. He doesn't things bounce off. He just walks in there, stands for a couple of minutes while the bullets are bouncing, and then he just goes in, throws people around.
One thing I did like though is when he got shot up, he's like, I'm really sick and tired of having to get new clothes.
Right? He's like, I'm sick and tired of having to buy new clothes.
Well, you just reminded me.
Well, then duck. Why are you standing there?
The holy hoodies. Those are like a thing now all over the internet.
That's past episode 6, isn't it?
I know.
Why do you keep doing that?
Go back to Anthony's thing. He's complaining. Why don't he duck? Why doesn't he just start moving around?
Why don't he just get out of the way so his clothes don't get shot up?
Get out of the way. Turn sideways. Just dodge a little bit. It doesn't matter if they hit you. Just dodge or run forward or roll or something. Don't just stand there while bullets are just...
Right, or take your clothes off and fight them that way.
That's what I didn't get. He's standing there, and then he's sick and tired of getting shot. Well, then move! That's just a small pet peeve.
Right?
It's funny.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't make that much money, so, clothes are expensive.
Right. Well, he's not broke, right?
Dishwasher, for Christ's sake.
No, remember, he did steal Diamondback's money, then he took a bag away, and he kept, so he's got money, because he kept a bag for himself so he could reopen Pop's store.
Yeah, he's like Robin Hood.
Didn't Pops have insurance?
I don't know. Maybe not. You would know. I mean, did they have insurance in Harlem? I'm sure they would. But again,
Pops. Where you live?
No, but again, there's the poverty. I mean, for the economics. But again, it's a small little shop. Maybe because again, he said, look, this is neutral ground. He doesn't have to worry about people shooting up his store. He's pretty much said it. Nobody's going to hit me here, right? He pretty much said that.
Hold on, Anthony. You worked in insurance. You work in insurance, right? So it doesn't matter where you live, right?
Yeah, if you're gonna open up a business, you definitely want to get insurance.
But the amount where you live, I mean, depending on it
doesn't matter where you live. The insurance agent will give you enough insurance to rebuild if your building or your stock gets destroyed. Also, they'll compensate you for, payroll.
Although the price of insurance could actually be affected by the location, that has been a factor I've heard about. I don't know if it's true or not.
Well, if you live in Gotham,
risk is what
or what city was it that the Avengers were in?
New York.
All right, yeah. If you live in New York, it's gonna probably be a little more expensive.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like
that's why he's in New York, right? He's in Harlem.
Well, certain part of that's true.
He's in a borough of New York, Harlem.
But I mean, like I said, it's where you live. The premiums that you pay will be different, and also risk factor.
Right.
If you're living in a high rise or you're living around things that have more chance to catch fire, your premiums are going to be higher than if you're living on a single house with just you in it, or your own business, unless you have because I mean, what are the things that are around there? If the businesses or the houses or the things in there that may have chemical or flammable liquids, that can be a factor in what your premiums are going to be too. Again, that's what I'm saying. When I don't know, I don't sell insurance, but I mean with the risk factors, everything has to be factored in with these guys. And I would think that I don't know Harlem. I know if you're on the east side, or you're on the Manhattan, or you're on Long Island, pretty high, I would think.
Yeah.
So apparently he has indestructible skin, but he can easily shave and shave off his hair, so that's all not affected by his powers. I'm just saying.
Well, then the hairs come out of his skin.
That's true.
So the hair isn't indestructible. It's so he can just pull that blade across. He's not gonna nick himself, so he doesn't have to worry about. He can use any kind of blade he wants.
The actor
he can get a weed whacker and trim his beard, and he's not gonna hurt him. Well, it might hurt him. I don't know, but
the
not
actor,
gonna draw blood.
Yeah, Michael Coulter, the actor, I think is a phenomenal actor. I disagree with you guys. I do think he's going to still end up with Jessica Jones. I think he's going to be in a romantic triangle.
Oh my God, no! He already had his relationship with Jones.
No, I don't think it's over. I think
he's already slept with her, man.
Do you not remember one of the last things he said when they broke up, when she told him that she killed his wife, he said he was so angry. He said, "You let me inside of you,
Literally.
and you killed my wife."
Yeah.
That
He did,
is the
but he
ultimate.
didn't know.
Listen. That is the ultimate betrayal.
Okay, we'll see what
They're
happens. when
not
the
going to get
Defenders
back
comes
together,
out.
George. They're
Yeah,
not.
we'll take our bets. I think.
Haven't you seen a trend? He sleeps with Jessica Jones. He sleeps with the detective Misty. He's going to sleep with Claire, probably.
I'll tell you what he said in an interview. He said Jessica Jones uses booze to get through her problems. Luke Cage uses sex.
Right. The dude has more sex than anybody on
But
these
he
shows.
loves them and leaves them. After he
Right.
has sex with Misty, even he
Right.
said, "Too bad things didn't work out between them."
Exactly.
Right. He's done.
He's done.
Right. So I mean, this guy. I mean, you got Daredevil that never has any sex. You got Jessica Jones who has angry sex.
Electra.
Well, okay, but doesn't really. I mean, he's just into revenge. He's just into fighting. You got Jessica Jones who just gets angry and drunk sex. You got Luke Cage who has just one night sex because he loves him and leaves him. None of these guys, none of these superheroes are in stable relationships. They're not.
That's why I think that when the Defenders comes out, there's going to be like people trying to get in his pants, like the three of them, Misty. Temple.
No, I don't think that.
I think you're too obsessed on the sex part.
Yeah, you need.
I don't think
I know
I am.
you need to go and have some sex right now so you can get that libido under control there, George.
I'll be right back. It'll only take me 2 seconds.
Okay, you done?
All right, I'm back. Anyways, what?
Did you wash your hands?
Of course not. I don't have time for that. Anyways, I'm not at a restaurant right now. I'm on my podcast. What, nothing? Okay. Alright, so anyways.
What do you want?
I want to correct you because this is bugging the hell out of me. And I'm going to sound like a spelling Nazi. It's not anyways. It's anyway. Take the S off. Sound like a 13-year-old girl.
Grammar Nazi.
I'm sorry. I'm not going to apologize. I am being a grammar Nazi. It's anyway.
Anyway. Happy?
No.
What?
So there's a rumor with Disney and Netflix.
Yes. Good segue. So Netflix, the rumor is that Disney may want to buy Netflix. And there's a lot of controversy about this. Some people think it's a bad idea. Actually, a lot of people think it's a bad idea. I happen to think it's a good idea. Because Disney has not proven that they're going to lobotomize.
Let's talk about the pros and cons of that.
Yeah, well, what do you think of the pros and the cons? I'll start with you.
What are the pros and the cons?
Yeah, Anthony, you brought it up, so you can start. What do you think? Anthony?
Oh, I thought you said Will.
Oh, no.
No, he said you. He's breaking up, but he said you.
Oh, is he breaking up? I don't know how I got Will out of Anthony, but
I have no idea how you got that.
I mean, the pros and cons are basically this. If Disney were to buy Netflix, we now have a treasure trove of Disney products, right? However, the con would be we don't have much in the way of competitor movies coming up on Netflix. You know, that would be the con to me. You know, because Disney currently has a contract with Netflix in releasing their movies. So why buy them?
That's my thing. I don't like monopolies. I don't like super companies because they. I mean, I like competition. I like many things, especially when they're releasing movies or whatever. And if like I say, you know. If I don't want Netflix to become the only thing where you can get downloadable stuff. What I would like to be or is have a service where you pay one fee and then you can get access to all the various HBO, Netflix, Disney, whatever for the downloadable stuff. because I don't want to have to go to everybody's website or whatever to pay my individual bills. Just have one site where I can just go, make it easier for me to pay. But I don't want one company owning all that stuff, because that would just curtail creativity to me, because people then have to, pay homage to Disney or whatever. Disney have ways, but you wouldn't have these kind of movies on Disney. Disney wouldn't like this type of movie.
But
these type of shows. I don't think they would. Because they have the, you can't do that on the Disney channels and the Disney shows and look what they're doing. I mean, I don't like Disney thinking about buying Netflix.
Okay, hold on. Disney owns ABC, but I have not seen them curtail them from making sexy.
No, come on. You're talking about ABC. The stuff they put on ABC, even at 10 o'clock or 9 o'clock Central, is nowhere near what you see on Netflix.
You might have a point there. So you
just not going to see that on national television.
So you think Disney's going to say, because I have Amazon Prime too, and I have to say you have a lot more movie options on Amazon Prime, and I think that so you think Disney would say, well, this movie's okay, this movie's not, because it's a little too racy for the family. I don't know, because
I don't know about movies that are made outside the company, but I would say the stuff that's going to be made by Netflix, whatever Netflix shows,
the original
would have
stuff?
more to say.
Because Netflix originals such as Orange Is the New Black, you're seeing women full on nude in the show.
Right. Lesbian sex. I just don't see Disney wanting to be associated with that kind of thing. Well, we got to curtail that.
I actually haven't seen the evidence to the contrary, though. That they don't say, just because they own it, I don't see them. I haven't seen the evidence that they're going to say you have to change to the people that they. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. You could have a point, but I don't know necessarily, because just because Disney owns them doesn't mean they're going to say you can't be your own brand. Because Netflix is a brand, and just because they own them technically doesn't mean they're not going to give them their independence.
That's what they do.
I will say this: if Netflix made that Star Wars movie from last year, Ray and Finn would have gotten it on. Yeah. But now that Disney owns it, that ain't gonna happen.
Oh, that's probably still gonna happen. But yeah. Oh my God! Do you know how much fanfic you just inspired?
Yeah. Sure I expect to get all the credit for that and have cameos.
I'm sure there's already a lot of Ray and Finn shippers out there. But anyways, yeah, I just don't... from what I've gathered, when Disney takes control of a brand, they let them do their thing. It's kind of like when somebody owns any company. Let's just say, for example, I work for Pizza Hut. Let's just say, for example, I don't know, Disney... takes over. No, sorry, not Disney. Let's just say Kentucky, Pepsi. No, who owns Pepsi? Somebody takes control.
Pepsi.
Yeah, no, the Pizza Hut's owned by the Pepsi actually creators. I forget who it is. But anyways, let's just say somebody takes.
Pepsi's his own company because they compete with Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
PepsiCo it's his own company.
Yeah, I know, but they're all owned by the same people. I know this for a reason. Let's just say whoever takes control of Pizza Hut and says, we also own McDonald's, we also own Burger King, and I don't like you guys doing the Whopper anymore because, they're not going to do that. They're going to let them keep their identity as far as what makes them successful. They're going to take them over for a reason. But they're not necessarily going to change them because just because they own them doesn't mean people have to be reminded that they're not their own identity. And I've noticed that whenever Disney takes over companies such as ABC, Alias, for example, Disney owned ABC at the time Alias was on the air back in the day. They had sex. They had controversial stuff going on. They didn't actually change them, and I never heard of anybody being told that you have to change this because Disney now owns them. I mean, Star Wars...
That's not what... No, I saw Alias. There was no raunchy stuff. I mean, there was nothing on Alias. No! I mean, no, we're talking about... You see the sex scenes that you saw in Jessica Jones and here on Luke Cage.
Well, yeah.
You think Disney want to be associated?
That was network TV, though.
But again, we're not talking about network. We're talking about Netflix, right? This is not network.
But do you think that if Disney takes
Yes, I think they would. I think they would. We've seen it with Star Wars.
Well,
This is what we wanted.
But that was a PG movie. Netflix.
Again, you did, but they had it. Could have done it any way they wanted. They could have made it PG-13. They could have made it whatever.
Yeah, but
it would have been. I get it, but they could have done that. But he said, no, we want to make it more kid-friendly. Just like George Lucas did. They've got to make it open to everybody.
Right, and then the quality just goes down the drain.
I can understand everybody being concerned because of what they've seen. I'm just open-minded that just because the mouse buys Netflix, that they're not going to keep them, allow them to do what they're doing.
But again, going back to CW with The Flash, they have proven that they can tell stories over these first 2 seasons. So I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt for this one. Seeing what Disney have done in the past, I'm not going to judge them, I'm going to give them a pass. No, I've seen what they've done in the past. They are not getting a pass from me on this one because I know what they're probably going to do.
Yeah, pretty soon
they have to prove that they're not going to do it first before I will accept that.
Yeah, we'll have Miley Cyrus as General Organa.
I wouldn't mind that.
No.
I'm just kidding. Well, you know what? That's interesting. I never thought about that, but I don't know. It's just a rumor at this point. I wouldn't be surprised if it does happen, but Netflix is becoming very successful. I do have a membership to Amazon Prime because I did the free trial there, but I didn't want to pay $99 a year all at once. So they offered me, like, I was getting ready to cancel it, and when I hit cancel, they said, because I wanted to get that 2-day free shipping for a couple items, and then they said, well, would you rather just do $10 a month? And I said, it is kind of worth it, because I do sometimes order from them, and I like getting it in 2 days for free. And I do like all the videos they have. See, this is the thing a lot of people don't know. Amazon Prime, if you become a member...
Wait a minute, George.
What?
They were offering $99 for a year, right?
$99 for a year, like 10 something for a month.
Why are we peddling Amazon Prime and when they're not paying us?
Do the math, George. Do the math. $10 a month is $120 because you have 12 months in a year.
Yeah, I know.
$99 is a lot cheaper than $220,
right?
But they make you pay it at once, and I can't afford that.
Right, but again, George, it's the amount. I mean, if Netflix offered me where I could pay it for a cheaper price, I would do that.
Yes, but you're saving later, not now.
You're not saving it at all. You're paying more.
He doesn't understand that.
I'm cheap.
No, you're not
You're
cheap.
expensive.
No, I totally understand.
You're paying more now than you did.
If I choose to go the whole year, I can always cancel. Hey, hold on. I can't afford $99 at one given time, no matter how much it saves me later.
Let's say, let me help you out, George. So let's say you paid $99 and you're going to have Amazon Prime for a year. If you were to save $8.95 a month for a year, you'll have enough money to buy the next year of Amazon Prime.
But yes, I understand that, but right at the time they're asking to take it out of I can't do it. 99 at one time, no.
No, save your money, is what I'm saying.
I don't want to save it for Amazon Prime, though. I might not even keep it.
Okay, so you're willing to pay more now per month than what you did
if I keep it
prior year.
It's a gamble. I don't know if I'm going to end up keeping it. I'm just kind of playing along and seeing what...
See, the reason I don't subscribe to Amazon Prime is, you get more movies. And I know they're coming out with more shows.
They have
but I just don't buy stuff on Amazon that much. The only reason I would do, my sister does. She does this, and because she gets a lot of stuff on Amazon. If I did, I would get the Amazon Prime because you get the 1 day free shipping or whatever it is.
2 day free.
Whatever it is. But I would do that. But I don't buy that much stuff on Amazon. So there's just a reason for me to do it.
See, I do, but I didn't notice that the movie part came along with it, and then I realized, and I started looking through their libraries. I mean, for example, they have Doctor Who, everything up to the latest season, and they don't have that on Netflix anymore, unless you're in England. And they do on Amazon Prime. So Amazon has scooped up a lot of contracts from people that Netflix lost. They're both big competitors. So what I'm trying to say in this whole discussion is Amazon Prime has a lot of stuff that Netflix does not. So if Disney does buy them, how will it affect the contracts they get, and what kind of quality? And like Anthony pointed out, the original programming. Actually, you pointed that out too. Like like, for example, Stranger Things doesn't matter if they have nudity and stuff like that. But there are other shows.
Wait. Stranger Things. Those are
There
little
would be an
kids.
issue if there was nudity in Stranger Things.
That's little kids.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. But shows like Luke Cage and Jessica Jones and things like that, where they want to be able to have the freedom to have their sex scenes for certain shows, like, you know, Luke and Jessica, Luke and Misty, Luke and whoever. You know, will Disney stop them from doing that if they do take over the show? You know, I don't know.
I mean, not. Again, we're putting it down to one part of the content. I think Disney would want to have more control over what these people are going to be represented, because if it's going to be a brand, a superhero, they're going to want to sell it, toys, guns, you know. So they want to sell it to kids. So they want it to be more accessible to kids.
It is a rumor at this point, so we don't know. I mean, you know, I'm sure.
I hope they have to buy it for $220 trillion or something like that. I want them to bankrupt Disney, so they have to buy it.
Disney is too big to be bankrupt.
It costs $4 billion to buy LucasArts. I don't think they're going to be able to get to that notch. I'm thinking.
Are you kidding me? Netflix is huge.
It's not that huge. I'm thinking like $20 million.
No, it's bigger than that.
Yeah, you're right.
It's bigger than that.
No, you're right, because Tom Cruise's paycheck is like $20 million on average for each Mission Impossible movie. So I'm thinking like, okay, $40 million.
Bigger. We're talking 9 digits.
Anyways,
we're talking 9 digits, an upper 9 digits.
Well, like I said, the only reason I even brought up Amazon Prime is Netflix and Amazon Prime are really toe-to-toe in competition. It's like AOL and Earthlink back in the day. We all saw what happened with both of them. But the point I'm trying to make is that right now, those are the two biggest streaming competitors. So maybe Amazon, because Amazon did win Doctor Who from Netflix as far as the, you know, and that's a big market. That's not a small thing. When Netflix acquired the rights to Doctor Who to take them over, both Amazon and Netflix had to also bargain to get Star Trek. Netflix managed to get Star Trek back. They lost them for almost a year, and they got them back.
But yeah, again, okay, George, do you think they're going to stay with Amazon forever? With Doctor Who?
It's always going to
these things move backwards and forwards.
Yeah, exactly, and BBC
so you know, again, I'm not. I don't think Doctor Who is as big as Star Trek is in this country. I just don't see it. I don't see it. It's niche. It's a niche market.
You're right, but the demand for it is about equal at this point.
I don't think so. I really don't. No, I don't think so.
It wasn't like 6 years ago, I would say, but now it is.
I don't think so. I think it's still a niche market. I think it's still.
It is, I won't argue with you that it's niche, but it has grown to where it's like up and neck and neck.
But you go onto the street, and you mention Captain Kirk, and nearly anybody in the United States will know who Captain Kirk is.
Actually,
you walk down the street of New York City or any mainstream in middle America, and say Doctor Who. They're like, huh? They won't know who Doctor Who is.
I've had the opposite reaction. I found.
But again,
I've had more people recognize Doctor Who than Star Trek now.
Okay, I beg to differ, George. I think you're living in a vacuum if you're going to say that.
You're living in a bubble. You're living in a Doctor Who bubble.
It depends on where you live.
See, when people talk about geek stuff, it's always Star Trek versus Star Wars.
Yes.
You never hear Doctor Who on there. Okay?
I'm not saying Doctor Who's bad. I'm just saying in England it's huge. It's bigger than Star Trek because it's an English program.
You're right.
Yeah,
but here,
you got this Time Lord who can live through time and space, and whenever he comes to Earth, he's always in England.
Which is fine. It's where he's supposed to be. He's English.
He's limited.
Right? I don't have a problem with that. The thing is, I mean, when I came to the United States in 1988, nobody knew Doctor Who. 1998, nobody knew Doctor Who. I mean, in the early 2000s, it's starting to catch on because, again, they came back to it.
Right, with
but again,
Christopher Eccleston, which is an actor that many people know.
And actually, Sci-Fi Channel was the first people, the science fiction channel, their Sci-Fi Channel, they were the first ones to bring it over, to take it.
Right, and it didn't catch on them, so they dropped it.
In fact, they dubbed his accent. I talked about that on another podcast. They dubbed Christopher Eccleston's accent because he was too hard to understand. David Tennant was when it really started to take off as far as the U.S.
Right. But you remember Mad Max with Mel Gibson?
Yeah.
When that first came out, they dubbed Mel Gibson's accent because nobody could understand his Australian accent. If you watch the release, because there's two out there. There's the original with Mel Gibson's accent. Then there's one with a crappy American dub over it. It's awful. It's awful. You're listening to that's Mel Gibson, and he's got this awful American accent. And you're like, holy crap, who's dubbing this guy? I remember watching that. I'm like, holy crap. Because I was on TV or something. They brought that, and then it's like, oh man, they did that. They used to do that in the 70s and the 80s, dubbing people because they didn't think, oh, the Americans are just too stupid to understand. And it's true. I talked to my friend who's a Texan, right? Born and bred, never really left Texas. I told him, we watched some English show, and he's like, I cannot understand these people at all. And they were speaking English with an English accent. Not the brogue, and that's well. You get out of London, you get into northern England, southern England. You get into where they have accents. Forget the Scottish; you couldn't understand Scottish at all, or Irish.
I have to agree. I have to admit.
So again, you've got people who would not understand English, and I'm not going to watch something that's speaking as foreign language.
If you ever
they need subtitles on it or something.
If you ever listen to David Tennant speak his native Scottish accent on there's this one comedy he did with Catherine Tate, the girl who played Donna. And they did this thing where she was a schoolgirl, and she does this show. I can't remember what it's called. And he was the teacher.
It's called the Catherine Tate Show.
Yeah, the Catherine Tate Show.
It's Schoolgirl Lauren.
Yes, Schoolgirl Lauren. If you watch it, I laughed my ass off because I'm used to watching shows like Red Dwarf and a lot of BBC stuff. My girlfriend's watching. She's like, "What the fuck did she just say?" It's seriously. Because I can understand where sometimes if you're not used to watching shows from the UK, whether it's Scotland or England, it can be hard to understand some of the accents. And I can sort of see where the Sci-Fi Channel might have said they were concerned about Christopher Eccleston, because he does have a northern accent, I guess, and all that means he's closer to Scotland and everything. But, Wales area. But the thing is that I can understand a little bit, because sometimes it is hard to understand. If you get used to it, like from watching it, it's like you laugh along. My friends and I used to get drunk, and we would go, oh, it's Red Dwarf time, and we would watch Red Dwarf. But some of the characters in that show, like Dave Lister, the main character, half the shit he said, we didn't even have a clue what he said, but we just laughed anyways because we were drunk.
You couldn't understand. I watched Red Dwarf. I liked Red Dwarf. You couldn't understand.
Sometimes, if he talked too quickly, he'd say something like, and you had no clue what the fuck he just said.
I don't know, man, because whenever I watch shows like that, even the Scottish ones, I can understand it. I know what they're saying.
Anthony, have you ever watched Red Dwarf?
Yes.
You know Dave Lister, the main character, the black guy?
Yes.
Okay, you know how he has the accent? Have you ever noticed,
it's a London accent? It's a London accent.
Oh, is that what it is? Because when he says
I understand him when he talks.
I do too. But
hey, Rimmer!
Yeah. But sometimes it's like that's the whole thing. Like they talk like they're asking a question every time. You know what I mean? It's kind of hard to explain if you're
sort of like when you say, you know what I mean?
Not mean.
Like it'd be like, oh, but I had sex with her the other night.
George.
I don't know.
Him and sex, I swear.
But anyways,
yes. He's not getting any, obviously.
Apparently.
Red Dwarf was a classic. They're still trying to make episodes.
They've invented this thing called masturbation, George. Relieves tension.
Try it.
Dude, I am an expert. I am a master at baiting.
Alright, well.
Wow, that was weird. Is that a new thing I just invented? No. Anyways, that sounded creepy.
Anyway.
Well, you are creepy, George.
I am. So, so we covered pretty much every topic tonight, and before we get any creepier, where can people find you on social media, my friend Magnum?
You can follow me on Twitter at Anthony Battles.
You can follow me, George Chooch99A, at Twitter. What about you, Will?
On Twitter, at Intrinsicus. That's intrinsic with a US on the end.
All right, that was episode 31. Yes, I have my numbers right this time. And I want to thank everyone for joining us. Ross will be joining us in about a couple of weeks. We might have a guest next week because we need to fill in a host chair. And
we don't need to fill it in, but if somebody would care to join us, that'd be awesome.
That's kind of that's what I meant. But Ross is in the middle of moving to Iowa. I don't know what's going on in Iowa, but
cornfield.
He should be moved by now, shouldn't he? It shouldn't take it that long.
He said it'll take at least one more show. So
it doesn't take 2 weeks to move to Iowa.
Yeah, to get set up again and to make his girlfriend happy.
Nope. You just pull the computer out, plug it in, turn it on, and you're good to go.
And you have to order the internet and all that. We don't know what do they even have the internet?
Oh my god!
Yes,
they have internet in Iowa. Come on now. They also have cars. They have stores where you could buy groceries.
Wait a minute. Didn't Kirk come from Iowa? He did.
That's a fictional character.
I know, but we're geeks.
You know what's funny? Check this out. Since you want to talk about Kirk so badly, someone sent him a tweet on Twitter and to William Shatner, and they said, "What town in Iowa are you from again?" And his response, "You have me confused with a fictional character."
Oh my god!
God. Wow.
That's how stupid people are. But all right.
It just hit me though that Ross is moving to where Kirk was born. The character. The fictional character. Yes, I am aware. All right, so thank you for joining us on Super Geeks 31. Ross, you were not missed. Barry erased you from the timeline. But if you get restored, we'll welcome you back. And we'll talk to you guys next time.